Welcome to the Mad Panda podcast, where hip hop doesn't have an expiration date. I am Nate, along here with my co-host Silas, and today we're diving deep into everything hip hop. So let's get into it.
And as usual, if you like what you're hearing, please like, share, and subscribe so that we can keep building together.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so I think this week we're actually a little bit behind because we got snowed out last week. Texas, you get 3 inches of snow and the whole state shuts down, so we couldn't go anywhere. So, but we'll get going again here.
Yeah.
I think today we were just going to talk about what we're hoping for 2025, like some of the things we're looking forward to, things that we're wishing for that may or may not happen.
Yeah.
So, you got anything you're thinking of?
Yeah. Well, one thing is for 2025, I hope that happens is with the streaming platforms. I will hope that they will get a lot better with compensating their artists that's on the streaming platforms a lot, because I think it just released that the CEO of like Spotify was making like $36 some million in that 1 year. And then, like, these artists are getting crumbs.
Yeah, like the highest paid Spotify artist made like $50 last year.
Yeah, it was some wild numbers. So it's like, I will hope that things will change around, and hopefully for the music world that, it's something else that comes in that makes music easier to listen to, but also compensates the artists as well, because that's what we need.
Yeah, I've seen several comments by artists saying that they prefer the Bandcamp model. Which you said you've heard the opposite, but I've seen a few recently and they like it because they do get paid more for streams and they can sell, like you can just straight buy it, download from there.
And download it right on there.
You can sell merch directly from there, which I think you can do on Spotify. There is some stores, I don't know how directly, but the Bandcamp does come directly from the artist.
Yeah.
Through whoever their fulfillment group is. And then they've also started a thing where you can actually press vinyl through Bandcamp, where I think you set it up, and then once you hit a certain number, like
really,
yeah, so like if you're like, we're doing an edition of 500, so once you sell 300 of those, then Bandcamp will start pressing them up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or something like that.
I mean, that's a good
exact thing, but I know there's been a few of those I've seen recently that are pressing it through Bandcamp. So, I don't know. I'm sure all the artists will still keep putting on Spotify because at least that gets their music out there.
Yeah, it's a promotional why. I think Spotify is mainly, I guess, for promotional sakes, just for blowing up, and it's good for an up and coming artist. However, for an artist who's already established, it's kind of it's kind of like a downfall. No, I'm saying a downfall, but it's not very lucrative, if I could say that.
It's more than have to do it too, and it's a shame because like if you do a Bandcamp, you can make more money, but you do Spotify, most people are just going to go with the Spotify one because they're already listening.
They already got Spotify playlist and all this type of stuff.
Yeah. And I don't know I think Bandcamp does have some stuff like that where you can set up a playlist to play off all your Bandcamp stuff.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of Bandcamp stuff, but I tend to listen to stuff more that I put on my phone. So
same here. Same here.
Yeah. So I use Spotify a little bit at work, but at home I usually, if I'm listening to something online, it's usually from Bandcamp or just or vinyl or what I've purchased. So
yeah, it's mainly stuff that I purchased on my phone that I'm mainly listening to, because with that way I feel like I have a deeper connection with the artist and the music.
Yeah.
And with Spotify, my main gripe with Spotify is that sometimes it like, what the good thing about it is it shows you a variety of artists. So say if you like, I want to listen to like a Snoop Dogg, or I want to listen to like, a J. Cole type of vibe or something like that. It'll put a lot of artists in that same category that might pop up, and which is cool.
Sometimes though, I think that there might be some payload going on there because you're listening to like all these artists, and then all of a sudden something completely random.
Oh yeah, just random.
Like, they paid to get put in that because there was no other reason that song, and I don't know for sure.
Well, I will say with that exactly was the whole conversation with Drake's Scorpion album, I believe, which wasn't a bad album to me, and it was his song God's Plan, and people was having like gripes about it. It was number one, I think, on the charts, and it was number one like streaming wise. I think it hit a record for a streaming rise, right? But the problem was that everybody was complaining is that they would be listening to like a whole different type of vibe of a playlist. So say they had like a chill vibe playlist going on, and then God's Plan to come in, boom, and then even it was even artists from other countries or like people who listening to artists from other countries. Like they might be like it might be like an Afro beat. You listen to like Afro beats or something like that, and then Drake's God Plan just comes out of nowhere in there. So it's like like what are we doing here? So that's what a lot of gripe was about it, and I feel like that is Spotify's fault also. And another thing, my gripe about the whole streaming platforms is, especially with Spotify, because I guess they're the biggest, is they're taking away a lot of creativity. And when I say that, I mean a lot of artists are trying to follow the algorithm.
Oh, they're trying to make stuff based on what's being listened to.
So like as for because they want to get put on these Spotify playlists. So it's like I have to make this kind of music because this is on this type of playlist, you know. And it's taking like I want to say the soul out of music, if that makes sense, you know. And when I'm listening to it, don't get me wrong, as an up and coming artist, I get it. You know, you kind of got to follow what's kind of going on a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Just to get known. But that's kind of thing is when you start keep going down that path
and just making what you think people want to hear.
Yeah,
what you want to make.
Yeah, like because you know the algorithm is gonna favor this type of music over the lesser.
Yeah,
it kind of just takes the creativity out of it.
Like that's always been a problem with music, but I think with the streaming stuff, it's more prevalent because you can't get on those lists without it. Like on the list without sounding similar to what other people are doing. So where in the past, you know, people would follow, but you could still, you know, get heard if you like caught the right DJ's ear or something like that. Now it's all just done by algorithms and not somebody that's actually like making a playlist or whatnot with the DJ, you know, like the old DJs on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
They would play stuff that they liked as opposed to what an algorithm is telling them. So yeah.
Yeah. And even back then, I would say like some of the DJs were still getting paid.
Yeah, I think Funkmaster Flex was the big one that was getting paid, I think.
I believe so.
Yeah, that was a big payola scandal for a long time. But yeah, I mean, that's always been also an issue with all radio stations. There's always been back.
Yeah. Which I'm not like, hey, get your money, you know, get your money. Just always have at least a slot where you want to show artists that you are genuinely.
Yeah, like don't sell every slot for that whole hour. It's like, sell these 2 songs, but the other 10 I'm going to play good stuff.
Yeah, they're like
kind of limited.
Yeah, this is like what's really hot in the streets, or this is like my favorite, you know, that kind of type of situation. So that's the things that I would like to see changed in 2025 is more
compensation for artists.
Yeah.
Because you see that so much, how people they give up because they just can't make a living off of it. And most of the artists that I listen to have day jobs, I think, you know, because they're still kind of undergroundish. Yeah. And it's also kind of like they're making music that's not necessarily going to make them rich. So they have to kind of work to keep it going. And in some way that's cool because that means they're just going to make the music that they want to make, you know,
and not selling out.
Yeah. But at some point they're going to be like, you know, I'm trying to go to work every day. So
they got to do something about it.
Let me change this beat up just a little bit.
Go ahead.
So, but no, I mean, that's my hope every year is that the industry gets better for the artists. You know, I think we've talked about it a little bit in past here, how like, you know, with YouTube and streaming, it is easier for people to blow up in a sense. Yeah. But at the same side, it means a lot of crap is blowing up too. So
so you get like a lot of good with the bad.
Yeah. You know, so in some ways it's good for the artists because they can get their music out more. Yeah. But they just don't get paid for it as much like you used to, you know. So there needs to find some balance on that. And I think, you know, the record companies were so scared of the internet for so long that they never bothered to get ahead of the curve. And so streaming started and, you know, instead of actually like embracing it, I think Prince was one that actually did because he was one of the first artists to like market his music online.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I think he was one of the first to had like streaming where you could actually like, you know, listen to his music online and buy CDs online and buy download. And, you know, so he was one that recognized it. But
Prince was a visionary.
Yeah. But the labels fought it for so long. and the Napster came and changed everything.
That's what it changes.
Yeah, but
one thing before you make this, I want to say with the last thing with the Spotify situation is it was Snoop Dogg, I believe. Artists like Snoop Dogg and his magnitude of being a mogul in hip hop and icon in hip hop. I think his last year, revenue off of Spotify was like $36,000.
Yeah, and it was probably like 100 million listens. And
yeah, it was something like that. Yeah, so
yeah, I've seen some people that are like, I had 1,000 listens and I got 25 cents for it or something like crazy numbers. It's like,
yeah.
And then like you said, the CEO was like, yeah, we're paying him what we can, and then he's like pulling off in his like $4 million Bugatti to drive.
Yeah, yes,
jet to fly him to his private island or whatever.
Yeah,
you might
this with y'all
a little bit more, buddy. So, for me, I'm just thinking of like for this year, like some of the albums that I'm hoping to see.
Okay.
Obviously, De La Soul. I always hope for De La Soul one. There was a long rumored one that was going to be produced by Premier and Pete Rock.
Oh, okay.
That hasn't ever seen the light of day. So hopefully that would be nice to see, or some, I know they've had some other music from what I understand.
Did they announce how like?
No, nothing announced. They did just announce that they're reissuing. It was trying to think. I think it was just after Balloon Mind State. They released this like DJ only promo called Balloon Mind, or called Clear Lake Auditorium.
Okay.
And they released it on CD and then on vinyl, very limited, like 100 copies or something like that. I actually have a copy of the original CD that a friend of mine, he was down in Hollywood.
Yeah.
And just came across it in a bin at a used record. Like,
really?
And he knew I liked it, so he had no idea anything about that album.
Yeah.
And I knew that it existed at the time, but was like, yeah, I'll never get that because I was nobody, or still nobody, but even less of a nobody back then. And he bought it for me, so I have a copy of the CD version of it, but they did just announce they're reissuing it on a clear kind of turquoise vinyl or ocean green vinyl or something like that.
Okay.
Color. And then also the CD too. So, but yeah, it's a reissue of a long out of print thing. So
you say you got it?
I got the original CD.
You got the original CD. Okay.
It's probably in my bin. I have a bin of CD somewhere, but yeah, the vinyl one I'll probably end up ordering, so I have it. But
okay,
that comes out in March. So but I'm hoping that maybe we'll see some new music by then, maybe some stuff that they recorded before Dave passed away, but no announcements on that I've heard of. So
yeah.
The other one that and I think we talked about this before was the Mos Def, or was his name Yaslin Bey?
Yeah, he changed his name. Yeah.
And Alchemist have an album.
Oh,
okay. And I think that was saying February. So that's an interesting. It's one of those that I think Mos Def has good stuff. He has bad stuff. Alchemist usually does pretty good stuff.
Yeah, Alchemist. I feel like I never heard him miss.
He's done some drumless stuff that just don't feel as much. But most of the time, I like all of his beats.
Okay.
There's very few. Even the drumless ones. It's not necessarily that I don't like them. I like drums.
Yeah.
On my beats. So, but
same here.
Yeah. So I think if anybody could do a good Yaslin Bey album, Mos Def album, I think
Alchemist.
Yeah, because they did the Black Lib one, him and Talib, while he did one with Madlib.
Okay.
Speaking of which, just a little side note.
Yeah.
Shout out to Madlib. His house burned down in those fires.
Oh, really?
I haven't heard details because he has like the world famous record collection, and I don't know if the record collection was stored at his house or not. But it did say that they lost a lot of unreleased music and a lot of his music gear and things like that. So, there are, if you want to help out, there are some GoFundMe's going on there. And the other one that I would like to bring up is JMD. He was the drummer from Project Blowed in the jazz group at Lemert Park. Played drums on a lot of Freestyle Fellowship stuff. His house burnt down as well.
Jesus.
And honestly, I'd say if you're going to give money to anybody, I'd give it to him because I like him a little better than nothing against Madlib. I like Madlib, but I love JMD's drum work and stuff. So
a little more.
So if those are two people. I mean, and everybody else, if you have a chance, probably if you want to donate.
Yeah.
Whole community down there could probably, Altadena could use some help, but yeah, so that's that. I'm sure I saw there was a jazz musician, I forget the name.
Yeah.
Whose house had burned down, and there's a few others there in Altadena. And then
That is sad. That is sad.
Bunch of super rich celebrities in Palisades. Their house burned down, but I don't care about them. Buy another one somewhere.
As long as everybody's all right,
Yeah.
you know, they got out with their lives and stuff like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I would hate to be in a situation like that. I wouldn't know what to do.
Oh, I know it's terrible. And living in Southern California a long time, we did have some fires. We almost had to evacuate our house one time.
Really?
Yeah. Fires got within about a mile of our house one time, and then several times they were down basically to the base of the mountain, which was maybe about 5 miles north of us, which if you've heard about the Santa Ana winds that are going out there, all it would take is one good gust and they can travel that 5 miles in a matter of seconds. So yeah. Anyway, we'll reel back into our discussion. One other thing that just came out that actually did just get released, and I'm excited about it, is a rapper by the name of Dose One.
Dose One.
We've talked about briefly. He's affiliated on Buck 65, I think.
Yeah.
North American Adonis, which was Buck 65 and Dose One and Gel.
Yep.
So just out of the blue, Dose released an album last week, produced by a guy named Still Tip Dove.
Still Tip Dove.
Yeah, and he does a lot of production work on the Backwoods label.
Okay.
This album actually came out on Backwoods. I like it a lot. What I've heard, you know, I've listened
beats wise, or are you talking about the whole
thing?
Oh, the whole thing.
I like Dose One a lot. I think there's a lot of times where it gets kind of sing-songy type stuff that don't feel quite as much.
Okay.
But when he raps, I love him.
Oh, yeah.
In this album, he does a lot of rapping, but it's still kind of, I'm not sure if you would like it. It's not like Buck 65 necessarily, but they're kind of in that same very abstract kind of
realm and stuff like that.
Where Buck 65 kind of raps in weird tangents.
Yeah.
Those
going off
but at the same time, it like is more like, but then he like, I don't know, but I would check it out if I
okay.
But I was really excited to see that, and because I like some of the stuff that Still Tip Dove has done before his production work.
Awesome.
This is a good mix of kind of abstract boom bap and some drumless stuff and some kind of progressive type of hip hop type stuff.
Now, is it an album? You said it was an album out?
Yeah, they released the album, but you could also download it. So I got the download of it.
Got you.
Like to buy the album, but we'll see how the new year does for me. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a surprise because I wasn't expecting it.
You weren't surprised. I mean, you was expecting that one at all, wasn't you?
Yeah, no, not at all. And I'd seen like he did a show the other night in Brooklyn with Shrapnel, which I mentioned I think last time was my favorite album of last year, and that one came out on Backwoods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it turned out I was reading a review of it, and he performed a lot of the stuff from this new album at that show in
yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of cool.
Speaking of album of last year, I'm surprised we didn't mention, or maybe we did mention this one in the last podcast, but that Killer Mike album, the one that
the one Michael, right?
Yeah, Mike.
Did that come out last year? Or did it come out year before?
It came out. I believe it came out last.
I'm thinking because he won a Grammy last year, so what?
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, maybe we did. Yeah. Okay.
It was an okay album.
Okay.
Yeah. I like some of his stuff. I like, like in small doses, I guess maybe. But
with the album, because I remember everybody was talking about that Travis Scott should have won or something like that, right?
Oh yeah. Well,
but when I was listening to it, I'm like, they might have been right on this one.
I like it better than Travis Scott.
I was like, they might have been right on this one. Now, I think I do lean more Travis Scott, as liking that. Like as we go for like replay value wise, I'm definitely on the Travis Scott side, just because, I feel like I'm more of a fan of Travis Scott than Killer Mike. Well, I'm definitely more of a fan of Travis Scott than Killer Mike. However, man, I gotta talk about that Scientist and Engineer song that he had with Andre 3000.
Off that album?
Yes.
Okay. It's been a while. I listened to it when it first came. So.
Oh man, when I first seen Andre's name on that album, that's the first one I went to. I skipped all the other songs and went straight to that one. And my God, Andre, he just don't disappoint. Like, he just don't disappoint, man. It was crazy.
Go back and listen to it and check it out.
I mean, I want to say Killer Mike did his thing. He held him too, like, because it was him, Future, I think Aaron. I forgot the whole name. And then it was Andre 3000, and Andre 3000 was the first verse on there. I mean, Future opens up with his kind of like his singing and stuff like that, but then Andre is the one who started rapping, and man, he did an amazing job. Like I'm surprised he's in this he's in the game this long and still delivering verses like
and he doesn't listen to hip hop or isn't inspired. Like
I'm like, yo, man, like what is
maybe
wrong?
maybe some of that stuff. Well, I think we did talk the other day that I'd heard that he said he was thinking, he said no to a Outkast.
Outkast, yeah.
He is thinking about rapping again. He's still in it again. So we'll see. Hopefully something like that.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, if he's gonna be delivering bars and like the verses like this, man, it's probably gonna win Grammy. It's probably. I mean, even if it don't, like, it's probably gonna be one of my favorites of all time. If I can say that, if he's delivering just like this, or at least if he's delivering how he's been delivering in the past 20 years,
yeah. Well, hopefully he can carry a full album and not just features.
Yeah, yeah, because he's gonna do a whole song. Yeah. Nigga just won't be no one verse. But I believe in you, Andre. I believe in you.
I did look up to season Wikipedia. So take it for what it's worth. But basically some of the albums that already came out and then some that are on the plan for the year.
Hold on, before you say that, because I got one that I am waiting for. Okay. I'm anticipating. And
not a Big Crit album, are you?
It's not a Big Crit album. If it was, we have a parade in this bad boy, okay? We'll have a parade in this bad boy. But it's for all those people who love Mac Miller. Mac Miller has another posthumous album on his way. And what's today?
It was due on the 7th. So Friday, it's coming out this Friday.
Okay, so it is Friday. So on the 17th, please, everybody go check it out. Now, if you aren't a Mac Miller fan, I don't know how you will receive Mac Miller. He definitely has good music. Just depending on where you start in his career, it's kind of could throw some people off. So if you're not a Mac Miller fan, you decide to go listen to him and you go listen to his early stuff, you might just think that he's what they call him a frat rapper.
Yeah.
Back then. But man, he transforms into like this beautiful artist, man, and he really.
That's one I need to dig into. I've heard a few things about him, and I wasn't like overly impressed, but I don't remember what
you listened to.
Yeah, what time period. So I was actually planning on checking it out and seeing what I think.
Yeah, but but his album, Balloonerism. That's the album that's gonna be coming out. Balloonerism. Yep, and I want to say for the people who are handling Mac Miller's, I guess, estate, I mean, they've been doing an amazing job since he's been dead. With releasing his music.
Okay.
Yeah, he released an album in 2020 called Circles, and this was 2 years after he died. And that album was not my favorite album. I'm not gonna say I'm saying I'd be jamming to it all the time, but it was a Mac Miller album though.
Now, do you know, are these things that he finished before he passed away?
I don't know about
things that they're finishing after them.
Yeah, I don't know about Circles, so the one they released in 2020, but this one right here specifically, this is an album that he was working on already, or that he completed already, but he shelved because he had another mixtape he was coming out, and it kind of just kept getting back. So this is Mac Miller from the year 2013 to 2014.
Okay.
So this is
recorded all this.
Yeah, so he recorded all of it. I believe I think they just kind of like updated it, I guess you could say.
Clean it up
and stuff like that. So
hopefully they didn't do too much, like add like features from people that weren't even born.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do nothing like that. I want to hear what Mac Miller actually wanted to have on this. But I did see like a track list of it, and they did have some like features that was from like back then that I forgot about. I'm like, oh snap! Like,
okay, so it sounds like maybe they were recorded at it.
Yeah,
just add them on now for the name.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll definitely check it out. And we've talked about in a future episode, talking a little bit more about that,
diving into Mac Miller,
him, but also the use of artists' music after they're dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh, excuse me. But anyway, let's see. What do we got for this? Is saying for January, we got a new Busta Rhymes album coming up.
Okay. Busta Bus.
I think we've talked a little bit about him before. I like him more in a group setting. He's a little too much like pop, and it just doesn't carry well. I like him.
We'll see how he is now, because Busta Rhymes been,
he put an album out a year or two ago that it wasn't very good.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and I don't even remember much on it, but I remember like
it was okay.
Yeah, I don't even think I finished a song. I skipped like everything.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I have no idea who he's working with on this or not, so we'll have to see. I mean, I'll definitely check it out. But
got you.
Mac Miller, of course. The Game is supposed to release the documentary part 3.
Dang, okay, third one. Let's go.
Boldy James, he's put out some good stuff. I'm not familiar too much with him. I want to say the Detroit MC. but not 100%. But I like some of his stuff.
Okay.
You ever heard of a guy named Pink Sifu?
No.
A lot of his stuff.
No.
I've heard a few things, and it's very abstract. But he's got a new one coming up.
Pink Seafood.
Yeah, he's done a lot of like some interesting artists. And I've listened to a few of his things, but
yeah,
kind of a mix of things. Some of it was like, yeah, that's cool, and other stuff was like,
this
okay, you tried, but it didn't.
All right.
So
okay,
it's another one I'll check out. I don't know if this should be included on a hip hop list, but we got The Weeknd. That's more of a soul thing to me. I guess it's hip hop soul.
R&B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with somebody named Saba? S-A-B?
Oh, Saba. Yeah.
So he's got an album come out with him and No ID. And I like No ID as a producer.
Okay.
Back in the day, because he produced a lot of Common's second album, Resurrection.
Yeah.
He had an album, and I can't think of the name off the top of it. In my head, it was a No ID album that was pretty good back in late 90s, mid 90s. But I'm not familiar with Saba. What
Saba has some good joints.
On the trap side, is he?
No, he's like more on the kind of conscious side.
Okay.
So
I'll definitely check that.
I will say that. Yeah.
Okay. West Side Gun has another one coming out, which I thought he had retired, but he just keeps coming with stuff. Here's one that I am excited about. Brother Ali. Yeah, he's got Satisfied Soul, and what I like is because he's back with Ant, who the producer from Atmosphere we've talked about.
Yeah.
And all of Brother Ali's best albums, I think, were produced by Ant. He's had some good stuff without Ant, but this best one. So I'm really excited, and I purposely not listened to anything that he's dropped from it because I want to listen to that album.
Oh, you want to have it, though. Y'all
dropped 3 or 4 singles from it, and I try to do that on artists that I really like. I tend to
hold off on them.
Ignore anything that comes out.
Yeah,
actively avoid it.
You want to see the whole rush?
To just put it on and listen to it from front to back. But,
got you.
Big Brother Ali fan. So, Roddy Ricch.
Okay, yeah, Roddy Ricch.
Okay. Smith and Wesson. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They were part of Buckdown, or Bucktown and Duck Down Music, which was Black Moon.
Okay.
Trying to remember what their original. Actually, I thought they were originally Smith and Wesson, and then they got sued by the gun maker. But they're
really?
changing it back, so I'm not sure. But that'll be interesting.
Wait, with the Roddy Ricch one, what album?
It's called the Navy album.
The Navy. Okay, the Navy album. Bet. I did hear about that in the work. So
okay. It's got the De La Clear Lake Auditorium that we mentioned. Clipping, which is a British kind of abstract glitch hop, kind of like, I don't know if it's like how to describe it. I like some of their stuff, but enough where I'll check it out. It's kind of hit or miss. This is interesting. This is under the unscheduled NTVA to be announced. Andre 3000.
Andre 3000. Yeah. Okay, there we go. 3 stacks, Mr. 3 stacks.
The longest time to figure out what 3 stacks meant.
Oh, really?
It's just, I'm like, why did they call him that? I feel like, and then I was like,
yeah.
Anyway, A$AP Rocky.
Okay. He got, what was it called? Like, Don't Be Dumb or something like that? Don't Be Dumb. Yeah.
Baby Keem, isn't that Kendrick's cousin, something like that?
Yeah.
And it's on PG Lang, is his label, right?
Okay, so is this the first album besides GNX on coming out on the PG Lang, I believe?
I have no idea. I don't follow him, and I just know the.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. I'm not a fan, but I think you like some of his stuff. Big Sean with The Alchemist.
You know what? Big Sean is a heavy spitter. It's just he always
songs have always sort of real pop, kind of poppish.
Yeah, he can spit. He can spit. He's just always kind of getting compared. Well, he's always trying to put himself in that big 3 with Kendrick Cole and Drake.
Okay.
So it's like, he's like a good medium 3, I guess you could say.
It's like the B team for the.
Yeah, I mean, because like he's hot, and but like he's fire, right? But it's kind of like when you compare him to Kendrick, it's like comparing like a candle to a sun. Like, what I'm saying? It's like, you hot, but he's like, nah, you ain't on his level. You're not on his level yet.
See, like a Big Sean album, I wouldn't check out, but considering The Alchemist is producing it piques my interest.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd definitely be a good listen. I believe it definitely will be a good listen.
One I have no interest in, but the general public might be. We got Cardi B got a new one coming out to be announced. Chance the Rapper?
No, please don't. No, don't.
I was going to ask.
Wait. What's the album called?
The Sprite commercials?
I don't know how long did he do his birthday?
I don't know. Starline Gallery is the name of the album.
Starline Gallery.
Starline.
Oh, Starline Gallery.
Yeah.
Hold on. I mean, I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want to like be, dissing him like that.
I got nothing nice to say. Don't say anything at all.
But hold on, did you hear? I know you didn't hear his last album.
I doubt it. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it was like one of the worst albums of like the decade or something like that. Just because look, like you said with I forgot what album you just said. You just talked about this shit. You just kind of skipped through. Oh, that Busta Rhymes one.
Yeah,
you kind of. That's when I was kind of doing because it was called The Big Day. It's pretty much about him getting married. Oh. So that's what the album was about. And no. So we're gonna see if he can make a comeback. Chance. I like Chance though. You said
Clips?
Oh, the Clips?
Yeah.
Okay.
That'd be interesting.
Pusha T and what's his brother's name?
I can't think of it.
Yeah, I can't think of it.
Yeah. Be interesting to see. They're like okay to me. I understand why. I do like Pusha T, some of his solo stuff. The Clips album to me was good, but it was kind of like,
nah.
I've heard it all before. Yeah, because a lot of the drug rap and stuff. Yeah. It was just kind of like.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to be extremely interested if they got a Kendrick Lamar feature on there.
You think they might?
I believe so, just because. Oh, wait. If they do this right, if there's a Kendrick Lamar feature with a Pusha T and if Pharrell make the beat, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy.
I knew they were working on it. I'm not sure if Pharrell has anything to do with it or not, though.
Okay.
I don't think it really would be a Clips album without Pharrell.
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know. Conway the Machine has one coming out.
All right.
Coolio. He's dead.
Is he a posthumous album?
Yeah, Long Live Coolio. I don't know if it doesn't say if it's like a greatest hits or if it's maybe they've taken some of his stuff. I don't know. Dame Dash and Freeway.
I'm not interested.
Yeah, me neither. Denzel Curry.
Okay, yeah, Denzel Curry. What we got?
Shows two on here. We got an Unlocked 2.0 and a Designed by Angels. He's one that I want to like, but like I like some of the stuff I've heard, but overall it just doesn't.
Is it more because he like screams on his right?
Yeah, like, and I know we've done some. I think it's him that's done some like covers of like Rage Against the Machine songs or something.
I think so, yeah.
And I give him credit, but it just wasn't feeling it too much. But
yeah.
But again, it's somebody that I try to check out because I do respect him as an artist.
Yeah, I like Denzel Curry.
Yeah, DJ Khaled. We don't need to worry about him. DJ Quick. Could be. We'll never. Might be good.
Quick. Oh, who's the last one you said?
DJ Quick.
No, before him.
Khaled.
Oh, DJ Khaled?
Khaled. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and that's where I was like, yeah, we don't even need to talk about him because.
Yeah.
Yeah. But DJ Quick might, I think he's a good producer. Not a huge fan of his rapping, but
okay.
We'll see. Here's one that be interested in, I guess, because apparently the album she just put out was a mixtape. Oh, and this would be her full length on TDE. Do you know who?
Doechii?
Yep.
Doechii?
Yeah.
Oh, you said the last one was a mixtape?
I saw that today. It was something about her mixtape, and I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't realize it was considered a mixtape. I thought it was an album.
Yeah, I thought it was an album too. I mean, it presented as an album.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know exactly.
So I guess she's coming back for another round then.
Yeah. Again, it could be any time throughout the year, and if any of this will come up. Okay. I'm not going to talk about Drake. Yeah. This is one I've heard about and I'm looking forward to. It's Dress from the Black Sheep.
Okay.
And it's all on J Dilla tracks. One of the stuff that I think he was actually working a little bit with him before he passed away.
Yeah.
And if I remember right, he's got the full blessing of Dilla's Mom Dukes.
Okay.
So I've been curious about that one. And so hopefully that does come out. So E40's got one. We got Fabulous has one. Flip Mode Squad. I don't know if you're familiar with him. That was Busta
Rhymes?
Yeah, Cruz. So I don't know if he's still not 100% sure on that, but.
So Busta Rhymes got an album coming out and he got a Flip Mode.
Yeah, like I said, though, I don't know if he's officially.
Oh, officially. Okay.
I'm not sure. I haven't heard for a long time, but Freddie Gibbs and Madlib, they got a new one coming out. They put out a few good ones.
That's a good one.
This one's called Montana. So
Freddie Gibbs seemed like he'll be a perfect, I guess, meld with Madlib.
Yeah, the albums they've done, like Pinata, and I'm trying to think of what the last one, the one after that was called, but both are really good. Griselda's doing another What Would Sheen Do mixtape.
Okay.
J. Cole, The Fall Off.
Oh, snap, we getting that this year?
Well, again, this is on the
Wikipedia, right?
The unscheduled and to be announced. So
okay.
I think this is a lot of it's a wish list based on things that have been said out there. So
got you.
Hopefully we'll see something like that. I'd be interested to see it.
Yeah, see what this fall off talking about.
Ja Rule.
I know
him. Jadakiss. I'm curious. I mean, a lot of people talk about how they put him in like their top 10.
Yeah, he's heavy
from what was it? He was in Locks, right?
Locks, so.
Yeah. Again, I think when we've talked about this, I didn't really pay a lot of attention to him because I feel they were Bad Boy, and at that time I was like strictly dealing with them.
Well, honestly, with them, so with the Locks was I mean, I didn't listen to a lot of what they had. However, when they had that, back and forth with 50, that's when I was like kind of more engaged with them, and they was actually. They be like, yeah, they was actually giving 50 to work too. So,
Yeah, it's like, being a music purist kind of snob at that time, I missed out on a lot of stuff. But I just haven't had the desire to go back a lot to listen to it, but I should. I really should. JID.
Okay, JID.
He actually has 2 coming out. Is it JID or is it JID?
It's both.
Okay.
I mean, I think he mentioned it in the interview. He's like, you can call me either one. It don't matter.
So he's got one coming out. Oh, and he stole a title. Forever and a Day.
Forever and a Day.
It's close to your Crit one.
I mean, no. Crit has a mixtape, Forever and a Day.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
So you might be mad about that. But then he's got one.
It better be good. It better be incredible.
Yeah, he's got another one called Jidtro with Metro Boomin.
Okay.
That's.
Oh, hold on. That might. Because, he got that little spaz, like.
Yeah.
Rapping type stuff. So
JID or JID is one that I want to like, but most of the time I just haven't cared for this stuff. My boy's played me a few features, and he's usually the best one on the tracks that he's playing for me. My son will tell me that, like, you're not gonna like any of it, but you might like him. And I like some of his stuff, but I didn't. I really liked the album cover of his last album. I forget what it was, but I just remember like, oh, I love that album cover. And I was like, I really wish I liked the album enough to buy it. So I had.
Yeah,
it's another. I mean, I should probably go back and. You're wearing off on me a little bit, so I think I'm loosening up on my.
The taste a little bit.
Loosening up a little bit.
Okay.
Not a lot, but
okay.
Jim Jones. Yeah, I'm not worried. Juelz Santana, was he?
Juelz Santana, yeah, Dipset. He's part of Dipset. With Jim Jones. Well,
it's him and DJ Drama. DJ Drama, I forget.
Oh, DJ Drama, Gangsta Grills. Yes, indeed. Yeah, DJ Drama.
Juicy J and Beat King.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that one.
I don't know about Beat King.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Beat King, but Juicy J about to have it live. I already know that.
Yeah, I don't even like saying this name, but Kanye West.
What? Okay, Mr. West, what we got on him?
Bully.
You said Bully?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if you saw, he just posted a I don't know if it was on X or whatever, but talking about he's the greatest rapper, greatest producer, greatest singer, greatest shoe designer, greatest fashion designer.
Yeah.
Art, like, dude, just shut up. Like, you're mediocre at best.
Hey, man, that's my boy Kanye, man. He said Kanye gotta talk his...
It's like, dude.
He gotta talk his stuff.
Yeah, but he can't back it up, in my opinion. But the discussion for another day.
Okay.
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi?
Cudi, sorry.
Okay.
Showing my ignorance on these. Here we go. Lil Jon.
Lil Jon.
Oh, and here's one. I know this one you're waiting for.
What's up?
Lil Nas X.
Oh, man, nah.
And Lil Wayne. I'm in a little section. We got
Wayne in there?
Lil Jon, Lil Wayne, and Lil Nas X.
Okay. No, not the Nas X one, though. I'm not.
You're
not waiting for that one at all.
I'm not a huge...
Hold on. But what the Wayne one, though, what was that?
Carter 6.
Carter 6.
And VI is 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6. Had to think that.
Carter 6. Okay.
I was gonna say, I'm not a huge fan of Logic. I liked his Vinyl Days album, but other than that, I really... I don't think he's terrible, but it's just nothing special to me. But this might be interesting. It's a Logic and Juicy J.
That is an interesting combo. Yeah, it is an interesting combo. It's an interesting mix,
Yeah.
Logic is definitely a rapper, like a rappity rapper. He like to use those words, those big words, and
but not in a good way all the time. And
yeah, that's where it kind of comes off as corny.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So
like you're trying too hard sometimes. But the Vinyl Days album was excellent. I think because of the production was very mirrored in like golden era style vinyl samples and stuff, and it worked. So he's got a second album out called Funkadelic, but it's spelled with a PHLN.
Okay.
Kind of like that because I like Funkadelic, but Ludacris.
Luda? I'm not like.
I am not a Ludacris fan. But I will say that a year or two ago, Wanda and I went and saw Janet Jackson down at Dos Equis in Vegas, and Ludacris opened for him.
Oh yeah,
and he put on an entertaining as hell show. So
yeah,
I mean, it's good party time. Good, just upbeat.
yeah. Like
But
Luda.
yeah,
I like Luda a lot. I like early Luda. Like, okay, I'm not even gonna say because I haven't listened to none of his. I haven't listened to none of his recent stuff.
yeah.
But Luda, just in general, is a lyrical monster as well.
I think his music just doesn't do it a lot for me. It's more kind of that, like the sound is just not my style.
Oh, okay.
But like I said, and I really wasn't expecting a lot. In fact, when he first came up, I went to get a drink.
Yeah.
And by the time I came back, I was bobbing my head. And so, here's one that'll be interesting, and I think it's been long rumored. The album's called Maclib.
Maclib? Oh,
I'm talking about. I thought you would.
Mac Miller and Madlib.
I'm interested in that one. Yeah, definitely.
Man, oh my goodness, that one's gonna be stupid. You know what? They might have had already recorded it, so I'm kind of curious to see what
Yeah, I don't think it was like here's a bunch of verses, Madlib. I think they actually did it in the studio, right?
Yeah,
taking forever.
Because Mac Miller was that type of guy. He always pulled up to, or he had always had people pulling up to the studio with him.
Okay,
and he was one of those people who was so engaged on getting better in his music. So that's why I think that's when when you listen to Mac Miller, you can hear it in his music. You
can watch him progress.
Yeah, you hear that. Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with a guy named Mac Homme.
No.
Or Mac Homme.
Mac-Homme.
MACH-HOMME.
Yeah.
He's a Haitian dude, but he's out of New York, I believe.
Okay.
Pretty good stuff overall.
He got good stuff.
Yeah, I liked a lot of his stuff. In fact, he had an album last year called Rich Ass Haitian.
Rich Ass Haitian.
Yeah. That was really good. And he's got an album come out produced by Conductor Williams.
Okay.
Who I know the name, and I know I've heard stuff from him, but I'm not enough to really.
Only thing I heard from him right now is the J. Cole diss song to Kendrick. He did a production on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Meek Mill. I don't know if you're a fan of him.
Old Meek Mill. I'm a fan of old Meek Mill. I'm gonna say that. I ain't really been checking for Meek Mill now.
Not sure about this one, a Mobb Deep album, which is interesting because
Prodigy's
not.
And passed away.
I want to say that Alchemist is working on it with them.
Okay.
And I think Prodigy's daughter is on it, and apparently she raps. But
she raps. Okay.
So I'm curious about it, but I don't have high hopes for it.
Yeah.
Here's one that has been long rumored, and DJ Premier actually just posted a picture of them in the studio, but it's the Nas and DJ Premier album.
Ah, okay, yeah.
But it's one of those that's been long rumored, and so I'll believe it when I actually
see it. It's kind of like the Detox album from Drake.
Yeah, like
so when it comes out, it comes.
I think this one has more of a chance than Detox.
Yeah, so, Detox is that's buried.
Nelly, yeah. Nerd.
NERD?
Yeah.
So okay, Pharrell and
that other dude.
My God.
Chad
Hugo, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Nicki Minaj has Pink Friday 3, Offset.
Okay.
Pharoah Monch, I'm excited about this one. We've talked about him, and you really need to
check him out.
Yeah, step up your Pharoah Monch listening.
Okay.
But he's got one called External Affairs. He had an album 10, 15 years ago called Internal Affairs. In fact, that's the one that the song Simon Says comes from.
Got you. So we're just a quick diagnosis of this artist. What is Pharoah Monch?
He originally came out as part of Organized Confusion with Prince Poe. Their first album, Organized Confusion, is a classic from 1991, but their second album, Stressed Extinction Agenda, is a hands-down classic album.
Got you.
And then Equinox was actually, I believe they recorded it first, but it came out after their self-titled one, if I remember correctly. Although I might be confusing that with the Roots, but no, I think it is with them. And then they broke up shortly after that. But he's one of my favorite rappers.
Yeah,
one of the best. I think I mentioned that when we talked about rappers one of the times. But he's also one that hasn't put out a solid classic on his own. He's put out some good stuff.
Got you.
Like Simon Says might be one of the dopest beats of all time, but the rest album
it's not like this.
it's all good, but not necessarily great all the way through.
Yeah.
Some of his other albums have been kind of hit or miss. He did an album a few years ago called under the name 13. And I think we talked about it. It's him with a drummer and a guitar. So it's almost kind of a rap rock
type of.
Yeah, but it, gets into like more breakbeat style drumming and guitar work.
Yeah.
We're way over time. But that's all right. We haven't recorded in a while. But yeah, I'm excited about this one. Let's scoot through here. Rick Ross. Yeah. The Roots.
The Roots.
That one's been rumored for a while. Run the Jewels has their, they've always done a really good job on naming their albums. This one will be Run the Jewels 5. Preceded by 4, 3, 2, and 1. So they put a lot.
Keep it simple, all right?
I bet they thought, okay, what should we name the 5th album? How about Run the Jewels 5? So anyway.
That's a good idea.
I like a lot of their stuff. I don't like a lot of their stuff. It's hit or miss, but definitely going to check that album. I know you're a fan, Russ. He's got his Chomp 3 coming out.
Oh, yes, Chomp 3. Let's get it.
Slick Rick.
Slick Rick?
Haven't heard a lot in the last while that I liked a lot from him, although he was on, Premier did a series of singles for the 50th anniversary, and there was a song, and it was Lil Wayne and Slick Rick on a Premier beat. And it was actually, I remember it being pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's what I think it was them.
Okay.
But, so that one, I'll check it. I'm not sure where that'll go, but Snoop Dogg and Dave East. I'm familiar with, I've heard Dave East, but I'm not familiar.
Oh yeah, no, Dave East, he got some joints, but
well, hopefully he does a little bit better than Dre did on that Missionary album.
we'll see what because there's gonna be 2 different coasts,
That's right. Yeah, interesting. Styles P and Black Thought. That'll be an interesting one. So I'm a big Black Thought fan. Styles P.
Not really.
What group was he? Locks or was he?
Yeah, he was Locks. He was Locks.
Okay, yeah. Again, it's one I didn't check as much for, but I know a lot of people like him. So
yeah.
But I love Black Thought. I think he's one of the best MCs out right now. Takeoff. Speaking of Locks, apparently they have an album coming out.
Wow.
Oh, the DOC.
The DOC?
Yeah. So I remember because he got in an accident, couldn't messed up his voice.
Yeah, his voice.
And I remember a year or 2 ago, he mentioned something on social media that he was using AI to help him rap again. So,
wait, how?
Because there's rappers that are, that's how Drake got Tupac on one of his albums, right? He used AI to create the voice.
Oh, it's the whole diss to Kendrick, yeah. But I'm saying, like,
so I'm not sure. I don't know if
how authentic will he will want it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, like I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if it'll be like if he's gonna rap and then use AI to kind of clean it up.
Yeah,
or is he just gonna write the lyrics and have
AI to spit it out?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. There's been a few other artists that have talked about doing that too. There was somebody else recently and I can't think of the name, that also had a voice issue and was using AI. So
okay.
T.I.
Tips.
I thought he had retired, but I guess not. Timberland.
Tell me he still producing.
Apparently, I don't know.
Produce an album, I guess.
It just says textbook Timbo. I was never a huge fan of him, although I do like the beat. For an Aaliyah song, I'm trying to think of the name of it.
Was it Rock the Boat? No, it wasn't Rock the Boat. It was Jesus.
Yeah,
Spot.
Yeah. Travis Scott and Don Toliver.
Yeah, that's gonna be a hard one.
Yeah, I know my boy likes both of them. So, Tretch apparently has an album coming out.
Naughty by Nature.
Yeah, and then I've seen something recently on a couple Facebook feeds. And it was a picture of Naughty by Nature, the 3 of them, Vin Rock and Tretch and is it KG? I think was the producer, and it indicating that they may be having an album. So I don't know if there's going to be Naughty by Nature and a Tretch album, or maybe this is what it's referencing.
Okay.
Apparently there'll be another West Side Gun album.
Hold on, did he have one earlier?
Yeah, yeah. This is another one of his Fly God mixtape things.
Okay.
Will Smith. So I guess he's going to come back and try to prove his manliness after getting slapped. So
yeah.
Wiz Khalifa
or slapping somebody.
That's right. Yeah, after slapping somebody, he's going to try to like restore his career. Wiz Khalifa. I don't know if you're a fan of him or not. I'm not. What I've heard, I haven't really cared.
He has close ties with Crit, and so I kind of like listen to him off of that.
Okay,
but as him solo, it's Wiz is Wiz. I mean, I like Wiz as a person more than his music. I give you as I guess you could say.
Sure.
What?
Exhibit.
Well, I don't know.
I like some. You're not familiar with him, or you just
No, I know Exhibit. Yeah,
like I had the high hopes for him when he first came out, and then everything after that just really wasn't great to me. I think, but it's all right. Here we got the Yazlin Band Alchemist one.
Okay.
Here's one. It's Your Old Droog. I don't know if you're familiar with
Your Old Droog.
Droog. So it's Your, like Y-O-U-R, and then Old, and Droog, D-R-O-O-G.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a New York rapper. I think he's a white dude. He's like Romanian or something like that, or Ukrainian or something. I don't know. I can't remember for sure. No. He's done some interesting stuff. I haven't liked a ton of it, but I respect a lot of it. But this one's produced by Madlib, so that might be interesting. So
Madlib got some works.
Yeah, he's got some, well, hopefully all this stuff didn't get burned up.
Yeah.
Hopefully the masters were somewhere else. So, but yeah, so I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. I mean, other than I think you had the best thing though. Let's just hope the artists get paid better in 2025.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. The thing I would like to say is I'd like to see people stop complaining about the death of hip hop and how it's, like on all their various groups, it seems like 90% of the arguments are that hip hop died in 93 or 94. And it's like,
that's a weird cutoff,
It's the golden, that's considered the golden age. So
yeah.
It's just a bunch, and I was one of those guys at one point. Then I got tired of it and realized that there's a ton of good music.
There's a lot of good music out there.
Yeah, I mean, listen to our episode from last time where we talked about stuff from 2024. There was a lot of good stuff that came out last year, and we missed a ton of it in our conversation. So, and I just hope that this year continues to do that. So, so we went a little bit over time, but let's still try to do our top 5.
All right.
Nate added a few more in here, so let's see what we got going. I'll let you do the honors.
Okay, let's see.
Try to get one of yours.
Yep.
All right.
Sketchy handwriting. Top 5 album debuts.
Ooh.
Yes.
All right. I mean, I'm sure you can guess mine.
Oh yeah. 3 Feet High, right? Okay.
And then I would also say, People's Instinctive Travels and Passive Rhythm from Tribe.
Okay.
Those are excellent.
Wait, that was Tribe, yeah.
That was the one with like
because I keep forgetting because Fife wasn't on that one like too much, was he?
He was a little bit, like he was on why am I drawing a blank right now? Well, there's that's their most famous song off that album, and I can't think of it. But yeah, he wasn't on there as much, but he was more. Yeah, he was on a few songs, but it was still like that's an excellent album.
I would say Get Rich or Die Trying, 50 Cent. That was a monster of a debut album. Trying to think. Oh, Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City.
Was that his first album, or did he have like a mixtape before that? Or
well,
that is real?
I don't know, because they say his first album was Section 80, but then they say that was a mixtape. But I know for sure Good Kid, Mad City was an album, so I'll consider that his first album. So, so that's his debut album, Good Kid, Mad City.
Trying to think.
Right, I was
gonna say AC Alone, but his All Balls Don't Bounce. But
that was his first album.
Yeah, but he had come out on the Freestyle Fellowship stuff before that.
Okay.
And I liked the first Freestyle Fellowship too, maybe a concern, but I wouldn't consider it one of the best debut albums. So
yeah,
we'll take them off the list. Let's see.
Why is it so hard to think about now?
I mean, I could go with a bunch of old ones like Black Sheep.
Okay.
Their first album, incredible album. Brand Nubian, their first album was great.
I'm trying to think.
P-Rock and Seal Smooth,
like stormed this game. When they dropped their first album.
Let's see. Nas.
Oh yeah, Illmatic. Yeah, Illmatic. Yeah, okay.
That, hands down, probably the best album, debut albums of all time.
Okay. See, that was right in our face too.
Yeah,
sitting there,
looking at my stickers over here. Cypress Hill would be a good one because their first album, Cypress Hill, was.
I didn't listen to their first album. I don't think I did at least.
That's my favorite album by them. That's their best album in my opinion.
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to, Pigs, their first song. I love that song. They just talk shit about cops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But that whole album, that's the one with like Hand on the Pump and
Okay.
How Could I Just Kill a Man and
Yeah, that was
Latin Lingo. Yeah.
Oh, so maybe that was it. Maybe that was a monster album too.
It was. I mean,
Debut.
for me, DJ Quick would be a good one too. Quick is the name.
Quick is the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to say the documentary about
The Game.
The Game.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird I had put 50 Cent in The Game on there.
You could argue too, like Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, Doggy Style.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Trying to think of something newer that I've so we're not all doing old stuff. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. I'm drawing a blank from anything that's.
Yeah, there's plenty of.
What am I doing? Yeah, no, I can't think of anything, and I'm pretty sure there's like.
Yeah, well,
a lot of them were like, "Oh my god, like why?"
I know everybody's yelling right now because we didn't say Jay-Z or Eminem or.
I was gonna say first album though.
I know, but people are their own.
Yeah,
that was the greatest debut of all time.
Oh yeah, like
say Wu-Tang. Yeah, you could say Wu-Tang, but the
36 Chambers.
Yeah, but GZA came out with the Genius album years before that, and RZA had his Prince Raheem.
Yeah, so they already had like a.
Yeah, so it's not. Concept. It was a debut of the Wu-Tang, but it wasn't necessarily a debut of any of those rappers. So that I would fight in that sense.
Well, I'll probably say at least a personal favorite is Nipsey Hussle's Victory Lap. Now that was his first and only album because the rest was mixtape.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I would say that.
Let me try to think of one more. We're doing way more than our 5, but I just want to throw one more out there.
Yeah.
Just let's see. I could go with Jungle Brothers. I mean that's all native. Like half my stuff is native tongue stuff.
I still like check them out.
You should. Straight Out the Jungle is their first album, but actually I wouldn't put them on there because it's a good album, but to be like
it's not a crazy debut album
because their second album done by the Forces of Nature is a lot of times that I would put that in my top 20 for sure, and there's some days it probably bumps into my top 10.
Oh,
and on rare days, depending on my mood, it might even be in my top 5. But
you say it just depends on your mood.
But it's definitely a top 20 album for me. I that's one I can listen to from front to back.
Yeah,
and it's a long album too, but I could do it for forever. So, yeah,
I can't think of.
My last one
would be
KMD. Mr. Hood. That is a
MF Doom's first.
Yeah,
joint.
And that album to me is still. That's another one that is always going to probably be in my top 10 or top 20.
Yeah,
and a lot of times it would be in that top 10 range too. So, yeah.
Well, all right. You guys been rocking with the Mad Panda podcast. We'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks again for joining. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. See you.
Bet.